Officials releasing important new details today about last week's deadly pursuit. Providence police have released recordings of police radio traffic following that deadly pursuit on 95 last Thursday.
And state police also identifying the troopers involved in that shooting, as well as the trooper whose cruiser was stolen, sparking the whole chain of events.
Meantime, the man accused of stealing that cruiser made his first court appearance. And we heard from his former girlfriend, who revealed his connection to the driver who led police on that pursuit.
We have live team coverage of all the developments. Steve Nielsen on what some recently released recordings show. Kim Kalunian takes a look at the members of the state police involved in these events. But
first, Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado is live in the capital city with more on today's court appearance of the cruiser theft suspect. Steph?
Mike and Shannon, today for the first time we confirmed that Donald Morgan and Joseph Santos in fact knew each other. One allegedly stole a state police cruiser last week. The other shot and killed by police a short time later. 35-year-old Donald Morgan brought into a courtroom to be charged in the theft of a state police cruiser last week.
Being accused by the state police.
An affidavit obtained by Eyewitness News, written by State Trooper Michael Doherty, said he was bringing Morgan to court on Thursday to be arraigned on a charge of stealing a motor vehicle when he pulled over on 146 to assist with a car accident. Doherty writes, while attending to the accident, your affiant turned to see Morgan operating state police cruiser number 187 on Route 146 South, moving from lane to lane, utilizing the emergency lights of the cruiser to move people out of the way.
If I found him, I would actually grab him and tell him, look, you gotta give yourself in.
Morgan's ex-girlfriend, Priscilla Almeida, came to his arraignment. She says Donald Morgan and Joseph Santos were friends. She called Santos Joey.
And I know him from Donnie.
Santos was killed after this police chase, captured on DOT cameras, weaving through traffic in Providence. When he slammed the truck into another car and backed up towards officers, police shot and killed him.
And I feel bad for his kids right now because they don't have a father.
Police said they were chasing Santos because of information that Donald Morgan could be hiding in a white pickup truck. He wasn't in there, and it's unclear if he ever was. But Providence Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Perry now confirms Morgan and Santos did know each other. Police are still investigating if Santos helped Morgan after the escape. And Donald Morgan remains behind bars for now as a violator from his previous cases. Now, police picked him up in Cumberland on Friday night. 2 people have been charged with harboring him there. And coming up new at 6, how police say Morgan tried to run again when they cornered him. Live in Providence, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
Several new developments in last Thursday's chaotic chain of events, which included a stolen cruiser and a deadly confrontation on a Providence highway.
And today we learned of a personal connection between the driver shot and killed by police and the man accused of stealing the cruiser. That suspect, Donald Morgan, made his first court appearance this morning, along with 2 people accused of helping him.
Meantime, new police audio sheds light on the manhunt for Morgan and the deadly pursuit that followed. Plus, state police also revealed new details about their involvement in all of this. Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nielsen and Kim Kalunian are standing by with those angles.
Well, we begin our team coverage with Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado. She's live in Providence with new details from court on Morgan's alleged flight from the law. Steph?
Donald Morgan remains behind bars tonight after allegedly stealing that state police cruiser last week. And we're also learning that Morgan knew Joseph Santos, the man shot and killed by police in the wake of Morgan's alleged escape. But we still don't know if there's a connection between those 2 incidents.
Good morning. What is your name?
State police say Donald Morgan was hiding out in Cumberland when they found him Friday night, a day and a half after they say he stole Trooper Michael Doherty's cruiser, taking off with lights flashing. The 2 people accused of helping him hide, Daniel Medeiros and Rachel Reed, also appearing in court to face charges of harboring a fugitive.
Felony larceny of a motor vehicle, count 2, possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
State police describing what happened when the Violent Fugitive Task Force cornered the 3 of them at Medeiros and Reed's home.
As VFTF members converged on Morgan, he attempted to flee by jumping into the driver's seat, placing the van into drive and lurching the van forward, where he then struck a tree.
We've also now learned from Morgan's ex-girlfriend that he was friends with Joseph Santos, who was shot and killed by police after a high-speed chase during the manhunt for Morgan.
Joey, he should have just stopped on the highway.
Police confirm they are aware the 2 knew each other and are still investigating whether Santos helped Morgan in the escape. And Donald Morgan's list of charges from this incident include escape from custody and possession of a stolen vehicle. He's being held without bail for now as a violator of probation on his previous criminal convictions. Live in Providence, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.